also important that you report what you've been able to do. I can see that hands are being raised, and I'm going to definitely come to you as soon as I can. But please, if you have any question, so that we are able to manage time well, note down those questions, and I will come to you as soon as I run through this slide. Because I might be able to answer some of the questions you have before I get to the end of the slide. But in case I don't answer it, please note down your question and I will attend to them once I am done with the slide. So this is just to speak a bit more deeper on the different component of the project. Everyone who has registered for the YDoS service, either as a project lead or as project volunteers, are expected to participate in these 4 weeks virtual live sessions. And we are only going to be having sessions twice weekly, and attendance is actually mandatory for everyone. All project leads will be required to submit their project proposal between June 20th and June 25th for a chance to be among the 20 project leads whose project will be supported by LEAP Africa with micro grants ranging from 300 to 500 USD. Please note that project lead and their volunteers must have at least 80% attendance to qualify to be considered for these micro grants, meaning for your proposal to be considered at all, you must have attended at least 80% of these virtual live sessions that we are having. And just to quickly mention that if you are a project lead here and you're looking forward to submitting your proposal when that time comes, and you're considering the possibility of even being selected as one of those who will get the micro grant, let me quickly tell you one little secret, that you will need a USD account. And if you don't have one now, it is important that you go and open one. That is, if you are not in Nigeria, we are going to be disbursing only in 2 currencies, USD and Naira. So project implementation starts on August 1st. And although you are permitted to implement your project or start your project before August 1st, if the kind of project you want to implement is that type of project that you have to start before August 1st. But the plan is to ensure that you do all your planning and ensure that your project starts at August 1st. To be able to get the certificate of participation and have the opportunity to join our alumni body, you must submit a project report at the end of your project. And this project report must include consent form. And what this consent form is about is, while you're doing your project, you'll be taking pictures of people, you'll be recording their videos and all of that. Before you take their pictures, before you record their videos, you need to give them consent form, giving you their consent for their pictures or videos to be taken. And you're going to share all of that with us, as well as media files like your pictures and videos to give us like a pictorial or videography image of what your project is. So for you to be able to participate in this project successfully without any hiccups, you must be of good conduct and be an ambassador of LEAP Africa wherever you are. You must be respectful to our staff, facilitators that will be bringing to you, and every other colleagues of yours, every other YDoS participant. You must attend and participate in all of the live sessions that we'll be having. And you must provide all necessary information required by the LEAP Africa team in a timely manner. So we are going to be coming to you requesting for some information at some period, at some time in the project. Please ensure that you provide this information in good time. You must demonstrate LEAP Africa's values of audacity, meaning you must dream big. You must have respect. Now, my sign language interpreter is frozen. Okay, he's back up. I thought it was my network. All right. Please, if you can't hear me at any point, team members kindly nudge me through other communication so I don't keep speaking to myself. All right. You must have integrity. That is the next most important thing. But please, can you still hear me? I think my screen is frozen. If you can still hear me, please, can you give me a thumbs up? Give me a thumbs up if you can still hear me. All right, thank you very much. Okay, so you must have integrity. Don't tell us this is the project you do, and by the time we do our due diligence, we discover you didn't do those projects. Don't inflate your numbers. Don't do things that you won't be happy or confident enough to defend. You must be innovative in your approach to project implementation, You must also understand synergy. And when I say synergy, I mean you must learn to collaborate and ensure that everything you do has that touch of excellence. Um, Things you must not do. Don't be found indulging in fraudulent activities. We are not only going to deny you, if you put our name on any fraudulent activity, we are going to initiate a legal action against you. So please ensure that you're a good ambassador of the organization wherever you find yourself. Don't be consistently late to program activities without prior notification. So you have received a schedule of all the sessions in your email. So if you won't be able to join the session at a particular time, do ensure that you notify us accordingly, so that we know, and you don't just join the session at a time when you feel like joining. Display unethical behavior in appearance, speech, and conduct. You must either during these live calls or on the WhatsApp group or while you are implementing your project, when you are engaging with community individuals that you will be impacting with your project, please try as much as possible to ensure that you are ethical in everything that you do. The materials that we are going to be sharing with you, please do not replicate or use it in a way that is against our ethical standards. Then do not disrupt our community hosted on the WhatsApp group. You might have some maybe complaints. I don't know, for the lack of a better word, sometimes it might be grievances that you want to register, right? There are civil way of registering those kind of conversations. Please do not cause unrest on the group, right? I think that's the best way to put it. Ensure you're properly dressed before switching on your video during live sessions. As people have been raising up their hand, the host might give you the opportunity to speak and all of that. Of course, for sessions, maybe sometimes when we are having what's it called now, town hall meetings that might be happening on Google Meet sometimes. Make sure that you are muted whenever you are not speaking. And if you have a question, please use the raise hand feature and wait till you are called before you speak. And you can also use the chat box to make your contributions or ask questions. However, please ensure that you use only English language to ask your question so that everybody on the call can relate and interact, right? So I've come to the end of my slide. I am going to stop sharing now so that I can see everybody and attend to any question that you might have. Okay. So Victoria or Oluwatobiloba, there's someone in the chat box saying they've not received the schedule. So maybe we want to get their email. We want to get their email and then share with them again, or that person should also check their spam folder. Okay, I'm also seeing a question that I have a question. Please, how do we join the group on WhatsApp? Once you register on the YDoS service, so please, I would like to know, this person asking this question, have you registered on the website? Once you register on the website, you are supposed to get the prompt to join the WhatsApp group. So if you have not registered on the website, please go back to the website and register. However, if you have registered, kindly share your contact with Oluwatobi. Oluwatobi will put a message in the chat box now so that you can share your number with him privately, and then he will be able to add you to the group. I'm in Imo State. We have a project lead in Imo State already. So another thing I also need to quickly mention is that we are going to be having different projects across different regions, different cities. In fact, different projects in different local government, in the same local government. So what you need to do is when you registered, there must have been a project that you registered on. And in due time, your project lead is going to communicate with you. However, we understand that sometimes when people are registering as volunteers also, they make mistake by selecting projects that might not be within their region or that is far away from them, or at some point they have the plans of changing their the project they are volunteering for. Please just let the admins on your WhatsApp group know, and they are definitely going to help you accordingly. Yes, the project leads are the ones submitting proposals. How do volunteers identify their project? How do volunteers, now the question, how do volunteers identify their project leads? So once you register as a project volunteer, your details, the project lead has your details, and the project leads will definitely reach out to you. So you will be able to, communicate with your project leads. Your project lead will reach out to you. I think that's the best thing for me. That's the best way for me to answer that question. For individuals raising up their hand, I can see you and I will come to you in a minute. Just let me finish with the chat box. Okay. Am I allowed to look for volunteers outside YDoS for my project? Yes, you are allowed to look out for volunteers outside of YDoS for your project. But because you want those volunteers to also get certificate of participation, once you get them, please ensure that they go on the website and register. Let them share the link of your project with them. Let them register on that project so that we can have their data. And by the time you guys complete your project and you and you submit your report, all of them can get their Leap Africa certificate of the YDoS service. I registered as a project lead, but I'm not getting any notification of volunteers like every other project lead. There is every possibility, Elizabeth, that people have not registered for your project to volunteer. So you will notice that there's also a link that you can share about your project. So do well to also publicize that, right? But as soon as you get individuals registering on your project, you will get notified. So Oluwatobiloba has put a message on the group chat. People are not on the WhatsApp group and have registered on the website. Please share your contact privately with Oluwatobiloba so that I can add you to the group. I have also not received the schedule of programs. Since attendance is important, is there a way to measure like a link also? Yes, before the end of the session, we will share the attendance link with you where you are going to fill the attendance for the day. So please, it is not just only important for you to join the session, it is important for you to be on the session because there is no exact time when we share the attendance list. When we share the attendance link, we'll just share it at some point during the session. Is the project implementation all about campaign only? I'm not sure I understand this question, but I will try to say what I think I understand. My understanding of this is, are we only looking at campaign? No. Community change project, anything that revolves around any of the 17 sustainable development goals, those are the projects we are looking for. We are looking forward to projects that are more sustainable, that has longer term impact on the community where you implement it. Good morning, everyone. My question is, must the project be implemented by August? Can it come earlier like July because of the target audience of the project? Yes, I answered this during my session that if the nature of your project requires that you implement your project earlier than August, you can go ahead and do that. However, let us know so that we can also capture that accordingly. I'm not sure of the link Abdullah is asking for. How do you register? Please, how do I register? Oluwatobi, please, can you put the website of the YDoS service in the chat box again for individuals who might have not registered? It is www.YDoS service. There is no D there. www.YDoSservice.org. Okay. When does registration for project lead close? So the registration for project lead is going to close. I will confirm that date and come to you. I'll come back to you, but I know it's closing this month. The one for project lead is closing this month. I'll confirm that date and come back to you on that. Juliet, please, I'm volunteering for menstrual care program. I don't know if it will be available within my region, Akwa Ibom. You can also check the website. Most of my volunteers from the website are outside my city and state. Some are even outside my country. How do I go about contacting them or working with them? Please, Toby, please take note of this person. The IT team will reach out to you and we will be able to diagnose that better. When I registered, the location of the project didn't reflect on the website, so I couldn't choose based on location. I only did based on interest. Okay, I think there was an issue with the website at some point, which we're working on, but we will also contact. We're also looking at all of the project volunteers, and if we see that the location you have volunteered for is not aligning with your location, we will definitely work on that, and we will communicate an updated, we'll give you an updated information of that as soon as possible. The Ghanaian community are very few. Can we migrate or switch to the project lead from Ghana? Mawuli, I'm not sure I understand your question. The Ghanaian community are very few. Can we migrate or switch to the project lead from Ghana? I'm not sure I understand your question. Maybe you want to rephrase. But again, it is your responsibility, everyone on the call, to also publicize the UDL service. Let other people within your community register. We have your yes, we will share the recording and every other important materials. Please could you share your website? Toby will share in the chat box. Is there any template or it's open? So we'll share a template with you for the project proposal before that time when you need to submit. What happens when the project lead has not responded to your email? How do I link up with them? So you sent your project lead an email and they have not responded. You can please mention in your group. You can call out because you and that project lead are supposed to be in the same WhatsApp group. You can ask for that project lead in your WhatsApp group, and I'm very sure they will respond. I have the project, but I have not received any volunteers yet here in Tanzania. There's no project lead for my project. Okay, so we have quite a number of questions here, and I'm going to just leave my team members to please respond to them in the chat because of time. So please, let's pick all of those questions and provide answers to them. Team, thank you very much. So Joshua, I'm going to be calling you up to speak. I can see your hands is raised. Manuel, can you unmute yourself and speak? Okay, as I'm not hearing from Emmanuel, I think I'll move to John. John Nsegua, Wesigua, sorry if I didn't pronounce that name correctly. John, please unmute yourself and speak.
Hello?
Hi, John.
Yes, hi. Sorry, I could have missed. My name is John Mwestuga from Uganda. I think I could have missed
Okay.
something maybe in line what you wanted me to respond to. Please kindly.
Raise your hand. So I wanted to know if you had a question. You raised your hand and that was why I called you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. My question was around the issue of in terms of the schedule for the webinar. Is it going to is it going to keep the same, the starting time and ending time, or there will be some kind of changes in the schedule? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Like I mentioned, we've shared the schedule, and I think the time is actually the same across all of the sessions that we're having. But you can also confirm from the schedule that we have shared with you. But the time is, the same. Thank you very much. Boniface.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you. My question was, let's say, for example, we are working with high school students and we already have the consent form signed by their parents. Is that okay? Or we need to work with youth over the age of 18 only so that you can maybe accept the consent forms? I'm in Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. So for people, if your beneficiaries are not up to 18 years, definitely they need a guardian to sign their consent form for them. So the form signed by their the consent given by their guardian covers for individuals who are not up to 18. I hope that answers your question. Okay.
Thanks. That's okay. Thanks.
Yes. All right. You're welcome. Okay. Liberate NG, please. You can go ahead and speak.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Lueshe. My question is, okay, a couple of questions actually, but the first one is, so I registered as a project lead, but I've not been able to, so I don't even know the people on my team, actually. I think that's the first thing. I don't know how to get to them. I don't know who they are. I don't even know if people have registered to join the projects. Actually, I don't know how to do that. So I think those are like the species that I'm in right now, like very uncertain about like what's happening so far. So I don't know if you could give like some clarity on how to go about that, knowing your team members, how to join it, and also would they be like a training session for like, okay, how the project leads would go about to make the projects better for the people they are going to be leading. Yeah, so I think those are just what I have to say. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. I think, like I've mentioned, and this is something I want to reemphasize for all of the project leads. It is important for you. One of the things that we have done with the website is also to create these links that allow you to a link that is created specifically for your project as a project lead once you're done registering your project. So please also go ahead and spread this link abroad, spread this link across so that people can click on that link and register directly on your project. That way, majority of the people will be coming to register for your project are within your sphere and they can easily interact with you. However, people come on the website and they look for project of interest and they select, right? It's just like an e-commerce website where you go there, you have different sellers, and you just click on any seller that interests you to buy whatever you want to buy. But imagine that a seller on that e-commerce website actually send their link out and put a lot of effort into their advertising. So when people click on the link to come to that e-commerce website, they're definitely coming to the marketplace of that seller. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that as a project lead, once you register your project, don't just leave it at that. Post your link, share it with other people so that volunteers can come on your project. However, as the registration is still ongoing, even though the registration for project leads is closing this month, that of volunteer is still going to be on for a bit, I think up until the end of July, thereabout. So just try as much as possible to continue to share your link so that people can come on your project to register, right? So Leap Africa is pushing the publicity, but also push it on your end, because Leap Africa is not going to spotlight any project and say people should come and volunteer for this. We're just going to do a generic advertisement for people to come and register for the project. But when you are doing your own advertisement or when you are doing your own publicity, when you are sharing within your network, you are encouraging people because it is your unique link that you're sharing with them, not just the YDoS website. I hope that helps. And yes, training. Yes, as we proceed in this training, you will get, as a project lead, you will get better understanding of how to make your project as impactful as possible. That is the major reason why we're doing this training. I'll give two more people the opportunity to speak, and just give me a minute. Let me check. Okay, just give me a minute. So let me give some other people the opportunity to speak and ask their question. Bamidele Toluwalashe. Are you able to speak now?
Okay, good morning, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, sir. Please, I want to work on SDG first, Sustainable Development Goal, which is about quality education. So I don't know if there's any project lead on that in Nigeria here. If there's not, I want to know if I can become a project lead. I signed up as a volunteer, so I don't know if there's a platform to change from volunteer to project lead.
Okay. Thank you very much. I would say that at the moment, up until the point when we do project proposal submission, and I've mentioned that project leads will be required to submit their project proposals, I think between June 20 and June 25th. Until that point, you can change your mind and become a project lead. Maybe during the training, you had a spark of idea and you feel like, you know what, I would rather lead a project in this area and I want to be a project lead. All you need to do is go back to the website, go and register as a project lead, and definitely you will have your project. But you should know that if you're now changing from project lead to project, if you're changing from project volunteer to project lead rather, you must also understand that there is that need for you to consistently do the publicity of your project so that you can get as many volunteers as possible on the project. All right.
Sorry, sir. Please, I also have another question.
Okay. Please be quick.
Um, okay. So I have done a project of this SDG for stuff under a book club name that I host, that I run. So I want to know if I want to be a project lead, do I need to run it under my personal name, or can I still do it under the name of Olive Book Club, since this is Leap Africa? I don't know if you understand my question.
So I don't think we are not as particular about the name with which you run the project. What we
Okay.
are most particular about is the impact the project brings and how ethical all the practices that you're engaging in implementing the project. Does that
Okay.
answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think I just want to check, but I think my director of program is on the call right now, and I think it'll be a good time to take a pause and allow her welcome you officially to Leap Africa. Hi, Amabel. Are you able to speak now? Okay. All right. We'll come back. We'll come back to Amabel. All right. Let me give Prince Will Edward. Prince Will Edward. You can unmute and speak.
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
All right. I have some things to say. This is number one is I noticed that I was expecting to have details of things that were sent during my registration to my email. So at least to confirm. Because like, as it stands now, I'm still trying to recall. Because I remember I had like 3 options. Which project should I choose among this? So I had like 3 options. I know either on something on ICT, I choose one. So I want to be sure. I had to just go back now, check my mail, and it's why I didn't have anything like that. Feedback like, okay, your registration was successful. I remember I only have the one that talk about the mandatory courses and all of that. So do we have a way we can check things we registered for? And the second one, for the mandatory courses, though I actually did some courses before I noticed in the group we were asked to stop, we should not do any course now. So on these courses, what are the directives on doing this course? And the last question is, my location is, I've not seen much people in my area. So like you said, you can start up a project already and register as a project lead. So if I want to do that, am I permitted to do so? So those are the 3 questions I wanted to ask. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I'm not sure I understand your last question, Gil, but I will attend the first two. How do you know your project? Okay, please, maybe you rephrase your last question.
Okay, the last question is, okay, like my location now is Akwa Ibom State. So why I was asking this is that probably the project I choose is far from the state, not within the state. So can I do it virtually? Can I participate in a project virtually? Like from here, I'll be maybe doing something from here. If we have a physical meetup, I might not be able to meet up for a physical meetup. Is that
As a
okay?
project volunteer or as a project lead? Are you a project volunteer?
As a project volunteer. Then I added, can I also be a lead? Maybe if that virtual work is not possible, can I be a lead in my region? I'm in Akwa Ibom, Nigeria. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So this is what I'll say. The kind of role you can carry out on the project that you have volunteered for is largely dependent on the nature of the project and the approach with which the project lead has adopted. So if based on the scope of the project, there are some roles that can be carried out virtually, it is possible that you can do that, but we won't be able to determine that. It is the project lead that will be able to determine that. However, when it comes to can you become a project lead? Yes, you can. And I think I've answered this question before. What you need to do to become a project lead, even if you had initially signed up as a project volunteer, is to go back to the website and register as a project lead. How do you know if you register as a project lead? As you register as a project lead, how do you know if your project has been approved? What you will see is your project will be on the website. When you go to for those volunteers, the only project you see on those websites are the project that has been approved. If the project has not been approved, you will not see it on the website. You will not be able to volunteer on it. Then we solely advise, and we are even pleading with everyone who has volunteered as a project lead, or as project volunteer, or who will register as a project volunteer, to please stick to a project, except where there is a need to change. Once you register on a project as volunteer, it is automatically approved that you're on that project, right? So there is no for project volunteers, there is no screening for you. Once you register for a project, you're automatically on the project. Then what other question? Then on the case of compulsory courses, please, there is no compulsory course that you need to take on the LMS. None. I think that is a system glitch. For those of you who got that email, please ignore it. You're not taking any compulsory course on the LMS. The course you are taking for YDoS 2025 Bootcamp are these live sessions that we are currently having. Thank you very much. So I will move to Manasseh Salah.
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Am I being heard?
Yes, you are. I can hear you, Manasseh. Please go ahead.
I have just 2 questions to ask for clarity. So the one is that I want to confirm, is there a maximum or minimum number of a volunteer as a project leader you're supposed to have? Then a second questions, I think you spoke about an importance of having a USD accounts. So as the having that USD account, is it as a Nigerian, it is a mandatory and you must to have it? So I wanted to have clarity on that aspect. I didn't get it clear when we were talking about. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. There is no maximum, I don't think, I would say there is no maximum number of volunteers for you to have. However, maybe by the time you start going through the capacity development, as when you start attending this session, you also understand the ills and favors of having certain numbers of people on the project. You can't just have as many people as possible on a project. Sometimes when you have people more than you require or you need on a project, is definitely going to, slow you down. But there is no maximum number. We don't have a maximum number of project volunteers that you should have on your project as a project lead. Now, what I said about the account number is we'll be paying in 2 currencies. We'll be paying in Naira and we'll be paying in dollars. So it's either you have a Naira account or you have a USD account. Those 2. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so let's go to Boniface.
Thank you. I was here again, and my question is, I'm trying to look at our project, and let's say, for example, I filter it to SDG 4, which we are working on. I can only see one project, so I would very like to know whether it's on your end or we are the ones who didn't fill it correctly, so that we can be part of that filtering. Another aspect is, are volunteers allowed to, are they supposed to attend the sessions? And then again, can the project lead, maybe, let's say, for example, I'm not around or available during a certain session, can I send someone from our program who is supporting in or helping in leading the project to attend the event on my behalf or the session on my behalf? And then another aspect is, are we able to see the volunteers whom have registered to volunteer with our projects? Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. I would say that your first question is around, are volunteers required to attend the live sessions? Yes, it is compulsory for both volunteers and the project leads to attend all the virtual sessions. And this is why both the volunteers and project leads will get one of the things that we'll get at the end of this project is certificate of participation, and you also have the opportunity to join the LAN, Leap Africa Alumni Network. But without at least 80% of participation in these live sessions, either as a volunteer or as a project lead, you won't be able to either get that certificate or join the alumni network. Secondly, is that for you, a project lead, to even qualify for your proposal to be considered for micro grants, you and your volunteers must have attended at least 80% of the virtual sessions that we are having. So it is compulsory for everyone to attend the virtual sessions. And so there can be someone standing in for you or representing you. Everybody will be their name, their own name, in this virtual session. I think there was one other question you asked. Can you remind me, please?
I had asked also if we are able to see the volunteers whom have registered, and from your explanation, I love it. And maybe a quick one. Let's say, for example, someone volunteers to a project but does not attend the sessions. Let's say, for example, you have 10 volunteers who have registered, at least like 3 or 4 are active, are participating in the sessions, but the rest are not. And I'm pretty sure we are not supposed to push them if they are not willing to. Does that affect our ability if I, as the project lead, have attended all the sessions and the 3 maybe or 2 other volunteers have done so? Can the volunteers not attending the sessions affect the project being considered for grants? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. That's a very good question, and thank you for bringing that question up. First off is, yes, once a volunteer registers on your project, you will get a notification to know, you'll get the details of the volunteers who has registered on your project. Secondly is, what happens when personally as a project lead, I am doing due diligence and I'm attending the sessions, but I have these 2 very stubborn project volunteers on my team. I've done all that I need to do, but they're not attending the session. What you need to do, it can affect you and it cannot affect you. How can it affect you? If we are the one who discovered that by the time we are doing our due diligence, it might affect you. However, the reason why it is important for every volunteer to also attend session is we expect that as project leads, you are also following up on your project team members to attend sessions. So if you have followed up with them and you're having difficulty with getting them on board, you should have also laid that complaint to the project team, us at Leap Africa, and giving us those names. So by the time we're looking at your schedule, we understand that you have done what you need to do in order to get them to attend the session, and that way it's not going to affect your chances. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you so very much. Lanre, please, if you can hear me, kindly check your message. I dropped a message for you. Who else is here that I've not given that permission to speak? I think as man as is spoken, yes, I think, okay, I've been hearing men. Let me hear a woman's voice. Catherine.
Hello.
Hi, Catherine.
You can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I have two questions. One question is that I am a project lead. I have my project and I'm from Tanzania, but until now I have not gotten volunteers. So I want to ask, what will happen if it reaches the time for implementation and I've not gotten the volunteers? Can I go on with the project to implement the project individually, or I will have to drop my project?
Okay, that's a bit dicey, but what I would say is your project the type that you can effectively implement alone?
Yes, it is.
Yes, so if it is, and you eventually do not get a project volunteer, you can go ahead and implement your project alone and specify that when you are giving your project report. However, what I will try to say is that I don't think it is possible for you to consistently share your project link within your community, even if it is just on your WhatsApp on a daily basis, and not get a few people within your community, within your network, who are going to sign up to be a part of that project.
Oh, okay. And also, my other question is that I have seen my project has been approved. It is on the list of the projects on the website. But the problem is I don't know how to edit because some things are not seen. When I click it, I just see everything is private. That means even if someone wants to volunteer, once he looks at my project, the only thing that he or she can see that private, even the location is not seen. So I want to know, how can I change that? Is there anywhere the settings or something that I can do to change that?
Okay. My colleague is on the call. Victoria Toby, please can we take the details of Catherine? You can share your email, Catherine, so that my team, my colleagues will reach out so that the IT team can help provide solutions to that. I think that's a bit technical for me to answer on this call. So the IT team will definitely handle that, but please provide your details so that you can be contacted after now. Right.
Okay. All right.
Yes. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. Let's see. I see I have some hands raised. We can definitely take everybody, but I'll try to take as many as we can. Ambassador Alfred Benjamin.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
God bless us. I'm happy to be here.
So excited to have you.
God bless you. I'm happy. Just that you can't see me live. I don't know why.
Okay, let me see if I can allow you put on your video. But you can go ahead and speak while I
Okay.
allow you.
First of all, I must thank all the ambassadors. I'm Alfred Benjamin, Ambassador Alfred Benjamin, speaking with you live from South Nigeria, River State, a youth developer and a public figure, a community developer and a youth leader in my community. So I'm happy to be here.
We're
Hello?
happy to have you. We are happy to have you. Thank you for being here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yes.
So
Yes, we are so happy to have you and happy to hear about your excitement.
yes, I can't wait. I can't wait to work with Leap as a a youth community servant and the servant of the people. I can't wait. I can't wait. I have so many projects. I have so many community projects that if we come on stream, I believe it will touch life. So many. But it's unfortunate that I applied as a community volunteer. But if the authority can change it to project lead, I will be happy. So that I can
Okay.
reach.
All right. Thank you very much. So, like I've mentioned, you can, if you want to change, if you had initially signed up as a project volunteer, then you maybe based on recent discovery, you've now seen that you would want to um, what's the word now? You want to lead a project. All you need to do is go back to the website and see the part where you can register as a project lead, then set up your registration as a project lead. That is the way. We can't change you from a project volunteer to a project lead from the back end. You have to do the registration again as a project lead. So we'll be looking forward to receiving your projects once you go back and register as a project leader. And it's so happy and exciting to hear from you and get to hear about your enthusiasm to community and youth development. Thank you. So right now, okay, right now we are going to be taking. We're going to be taking a break right now. I don't know, Amabel, are you able to speak now?
Hi, Aloshi.
Yes. Thankfully, we have Amabel now. Good morning, Amabel, and welcome.
Thank you. Give me 10 seconds. Apologies, I'm in the field, so it's quite busy at this end. Just give me a second. I hope I am visible. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much, Oluwaseyi, and thank you for your patience. It's been quite a busy morning. I was trying to straddle a couple of meetings, so it was hard to be in both. And this is just me saying welcome. You know, Oluwaseyi was insisting that I at least welcome all the volunteers and leads, potential project leads. Really want to just say, really appreciate you being part of this year's Youth Year Service cycle. I think that one thing that I'm always left with when I hear the questions, when I participate in these types of our boot camps and our meetings, is just very inspired by the set of young people who are already committing to taking action towards the SDGs, already committing to solving problems in the communities, committing to not just being people that are passers-by in life, but active citizens. And it's just an amazing thing to see for people across the continent. And the truth be told, as little as or as big as whatever it is you're doing in different areas and communities, this is actually what moves us forward as a continent. That aggregates, when you put it all together, the different impacts here and there now aggregated, you see that it's because of these actions that you're taking, these commitments that you're making, that is what starts to move the needle for us as a continent. When we talk about Africa's potential, transformation, the things that need to happen for us to move forward, these are the things. It's not some rocket science thing out there. It's this action, these things you're doing right here, right now. So I want to say thank you, and I want to encourage you to please don't let up. Not let this be a seed of a greater harvest of action, of impact that's going to come through this project and even through other things you do. So this is a welcome to the bootcamp, welcome to this year's cycle of Youth Day of Service. Looking forward to all the amazing work, actions, community development projects that will be done. I also want to acknowledge the ambassador. His enthusiasm was very, very infectious. And I pray that that enthusiasm will also be contagious for all the different people who are here to see that you're actually doing great work. This is not just work for work's sake, but this is things that is going to be transformative for all of us. So thank you so much. Welcome. I pray that these lessons and learnings will be things that you continue to express, not just today, next week, next month, but even over the years, the things you learn, things that will stay with you, and even things that will help you replicate this type of learning and these types of missions and projects over time. So people will continue to gain an impact from this little community that you're forming here. So thank you for being here. We're looking forward to learning from each other, looking forward to seeing the great work that you do from this as an offshoot of this. And just want to say well done. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Amabel. Please kindly throw in the either in the chat box or using your reactions button. Give Amabel a lot of hearts, claps, and every good stickers or emojis that you have in there. Thank you, Amabel, for making out the time to join us and to also welcome the participants in today's session and to this year's bootcamp. Amabel has been juggling different meetings, but she still made it to be here. I'm just going to speak to one more thing and then we'll take leg break. So I've just seen someone saying that I had initially mentioned that you can go back and register as a project lead, but they go to the website and they discover that you can only register as a volunteer. Now, this is what it means. Any project you see on the website has a project lead already. And if you click on that project, the only thing you can do is register as a volunteer. However, if you want to register as a project lead, you will go to the www.udlservice.org and then you click, I think register as a project lead. I can't really remember. I think register as a project lead. You'll be required to create an account on the website where you enter your email and set up a password. That is the right process for you to register as a project lead. But if you are registering as a project volunteer, you won't go through the process of setting up an account on the website. So I hope that helps the person with that comment in the chat. Once again, thank you, Amabel. And I want to say a very big thank you to everyone once again for the participation and energy so far. So right now, what I need you to do, I need you to stand up wherever you are, stand up, walk round, take a walk, stretch your body, get a bottle of water. How can I share my project link? So we will put something on the WhatsApp group on how project leads can share their what's it called now? Their project link. So Victoria, please help pay attention to that. We'll put something on the WhatsApp across the WhatsApp group before the end of today on that. So take a walk, just walk, take a few steps around, grab a bottle of water so that you can be hydrated as we start the very first session of this capacity development bootcamp on the UD of Service 2025. I'll put up my video, and at the other side or the next session that is coming up, you might not be seeing my face again. So let me smile to everyone. Well now, thank you very much. Please dance. Ugochi is dancing around. Please go ahead and dance. That is very good. All right. We are seeing your comments in the chat and the team will pick that up. So please don't leave the call, just stand up, take a walk, grab a bottle of water, get your notepad, get your pen as the next session starts in another 4 minutes. Thank you. Well, for everyone who has been walking around, who might have been dancing or jumping, it's a good time for you to be back to your desk and to your workstation or to your phone or to whatever it is you're joining with, because we're starting the session now. So at this point, I'm going to be welcoming you back. Oh my God, English is almost making me bite myself. I'm going to be welcoming you back, and I'm going to be handing over to the program manager at Leap Africa, who will be introducing our facilitator for the day. Hi, Joy.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Or, yeah, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're joining us from. It is definitely good to have you all on the call. Sorry, a moment. Okay, yes. All right. So, I mean, my work here is pretty much simple. I will be introducing to you your first session for today, the facilitator of your first session for today. Okay, and I can see that she is gracefully on the call already, ready for you all. And I tell you, you're going to have a great time. So we have with us our first facilitator for the day, Miss Kende Ayeni. She's the executive director at Leap Africa. She is a catalyst. When you think about catalyst for organizations in youth leadership development across Africa, her work centers on leadership, youth empowerment, social development, digital transformation, sustainable business practices. She is an influential leader, overseeing and implementing programs, research, learning, and strategies to advance these goals, foster positive change, and empower young African leaders. Her core experience in the past 15 years spans organizational leadership, operations, and communications. She has a personal and professional goal to continue creating an agile environment, opportunities, and solutions to profit, empower, and enable social economic transformation. Her exceptional contributions earned her recognitions as one of the 50 African women making a difference in development by Donors for Africa in 2020, and in 2021, a Praxis Nonprofit Accelerator Program Fellow. She is one person you want to listen to. You have to listen to everything she's saying. She knows how to drill down into your very inner core. So sit tight, and I hope you do have your notepads ready, so you're not just looking and thinking that you're miraculously taking in information. Have your notepads and pen with you, because it's going to be such an insightful session. And yes, I can see the round of the claps already going on. Let's keep it coming. And yes, welcome, Kenny. It's good to have you on the call. We are ready for you.
Thank you so much, Joy. A very good morning, good afternoon to some of us who are in other parts of Africa. Thank you for the very warm welcome. I sort of listened into Shei's moments and then Amabel's moments just to get a feel of those people in the room. And I see us moving between 130 to 140 plus and then back. So hopefully we can get a healthy number of us stay throughout the call. This is me trying to, be sure that my camera is good. Okay, no, I need more headroom so you can see. All right, we'll make the most of it. Ola Oluwa, thank you. This is nice in a good way. So the first session, I am very honored to be leading the session on transformational leadership. One of the things that is rewarding about my work, personally, I can tell you, is being connected to the field. And what is the field? The field is the opportunity that we have to, I'm trying to put it on presentation slide now, to reach the people directly. It's not enough to say that your work allows you to do X, Y, and Z, or your impact is A, B, and C. But the biggest part of it that keeps me grounded is the opportunity to talk to you all in a facilitation like this one. So you're going to be in for a good ride. I need our accurate timekeeper to be on point. I do not have a timer here right now, so you might have to guide me. This session that is called transformational leadership or transformative leadership is typically a two-part session that I have now abridged into maybe 60 minutes. So there is a lot of things that I will skip. There are lots of opportunities for us to even have a wide conversation. And so please have your notes ready like she advised, so you can take notes of some of the action plans that you need to put together, or even start thinking about some scenarios that you have to share so we can work together as a group. So let's get started. Shay almost put us to sleep. I'm trying to refocus my video. Hold on. I see. Yes. So it's not in the way. Shay almost put us to sleep with the violin. And so hopefully this can recenter our energy. What do you see right now on your screen? What does this mean to you as you're looking at it? Let's get chatting. Let's get talking. This is not a raise your hand moment. It's a put it in your chat moment. Yes, let's go. It's like a chess game, filling in the gaps. Oh, okay. Leadership, Boniface, Amisu, leadership, leader, community, people. How does this signify leadership? The icon, being pulled up or being placed down. How does this reflect leadership? Why did that come to mind? You can see a piece being singled out among others, standing out, community, example. Okay. Does it matter that the color is wine as compared to others that are black? Do you observe that in the image? Did anybody notice that the piece of block has two paintings? If you look at the icons, even though they're in the background, they show two. Anyways, it shows you that there is a dimension to leadership. It shows you a lot, and we can interpret this picture all day long for the next 1 hour, but that's one of my icebreakers. My second icebreaker is to check in with you on the scale of 1 to 40. How are you feeling this morning? On a scale of 1 to 40, how are we feeling this morning? I know that we've done a bit of icebreaker there, but another one won't hurt. Because we're about to run a marathon and I need energy to be 100%. So we're not feeling any way this morning. 30, 10, 20, 30. Appointment of a person or entity. Oh, this person is still saying why. 39. Okay. Minus 20. That's a negative energy. I really don't know. This person is, Estella is 70. And someone is 35. Someone is 50. Okay. I'm not sure how I can help you out with the minus 20 something you have energy. But I'm hoping that by the end of the session, you have maybe 35 like most of us do. All right, so transformative energy leadership, sorry, I was speaking to energy just then. You see this metamorphosis that has happened of a caterpillar to a butterfly. If you still remember your biology, I don't know, but I love to watch Discovery, and I love to watch Earth Channel and all of this nice documentary about the planet. So this is one of the ways of life. And I'm hoping that at the end of this session, this is connecting to where you are, where you are a caterpillar. By the end of this session, you would have understood very well the concept of transformative leadership and some of the attributes that make a transformative leader, while you also think about engaging a wide diversity of stakeholders. Why transformative leadership is going to help you in your journey, and what essentially you need to do to generate lasting change. And lastly, of course, is the practice of this as volunteers and as project leads, and because in some cases you must wear a double hat. Some cases you might be a volunteer, and in some cases you'll be a project lead. So that is, at the end of the day, I expect that you turn into a butterfly. But what is transformative leadership? No use of AI, please. I want to hear someone open up their mic and say what they are thinking transformative leadership is about. Ooh, some people like to use the laughing emoji, but that's funny. I don't see any hand up. Maybe you can help me here. I see 3 hands up. Okay. Ambassador Alfred, you go first. Quickly. Yeah. Alfred, do you want to go? Okay. Frank, Paul, do you want to go? We're not able to unmute. Something is not right. Okay. This is interesting. Maybe we should just put our comments in. I'm not sure what's going on with the audio. If you're all speaking, I cannot hear you. Boniface, can you speak? Melanin, who can speak amongst you? I can take 3 people right now.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, go ahead,
Can you hear me?
Boniface.
Yeah, I will say a transformative leadership is much more about trying to make a difference either in the society or in someone's life or even into your own life. That's maybe how I would put it.
Okay, good stuff. There's no right or wrong answer, by the way, people. That's one of the tenets of our programs. Libra 8NG, you should rename yourself so we can use your name as we go. Umbadime Jacqueline or Wandime Jacqueline, do you want to come up?
Hey, oh, sorry. Am I still?
Okay.
Hold up. Hello?
Libra 8NG, you must rename your name first and then you can come
Okay.
back.
Okay.
Yes. Jacqueline. Jacqueline, go ahead if you can speak. Okay, maybe not. Frank, Paul, do you want to go? All right. So Libra 8NG, maybe you should speak now. I'm not able to get any other person to speak. Others, please put it in the chat box.
Okay, thank you. I don't know how to unmute myself and rename myself. I'm going to try to do that once I'm done. But yes, so for me, I feel like transformative leadership is like a process that changes you as a leader. Like you're leading, but you're also being changed during the process. So it changes your mindset and how you react with other people. So it's like the metamorphosis that you talked about earlier. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. What's your name?
Grace.
Okay, Grace. Hopefully, we will remember Libra 8 to be Grace. I'm not sure what's going on with the opportunity for people to unmute and speak, which is why I have to move on quickly. I see all the raised hands, so please oblige me and put your comments and your thoughts in the comment section. I'm hoping that as the session gets along, we would have resolved the issue and then you all can come up and speak, because I think that it's better if things are more interactive that way. But I spent some time trying to call people up. So before we even get into what the definition is, I want to share some facts about transformative leadership. So people might be wondering, where did the concept of leadership even emerge from? How did it get started? So there is this certain leadership expert that coined the word in 1978 on transformative leadership, and is James McGregor Burns. So he's first of all an historian, and is many other things. Back in the 70s, 60s, and 40s, actually, people were not just one thing; they were multiple things. So, as an historian, he was also the president's biographer. He also dabbled into some aspect of photography, but primarily in 1978, he published a book called Leadership. And in that book, it really talked about transformational leadership and transactional leadership. So for the case of this session, I'm only going to focus on transformational leadership because that is the goalpost, is the ideal kind of leadership you should strive to have. And why is that so? And that's because transformational leadership is a model that has been used across several disciplines. So think of it: fashion, it's there; finance, entertainment, education. It's a principle that is employed and deployed in all disciplines. It's interesting that it says here that it's also something that is demonstrated in politics, but not in a developing country like ours. Have we truly seen transformative leadership or transformational leadership? But it doesn't mean it's not what is obtainable in other climes of the world. And a transformational leader is someone that actually focuses on the greater good. So the idea of a singular unit is they're saying, when you come together with a common goal in mind, that for me is a transformational leader in action. So here's the definition: a transformative leader or transformative leadership. Sorry, I will be moving between these three words, so you feel like I'm mumbling my words, but please just bear with me. So it actually is the act of engaging others in an ethical manner to generate positive and lasting change. Three things are very important when you think about transformative leadership. Grace did say something about, while you are working on yourself, it's benefiting others. And it's important to also understand that the big picture is how we transform the communities we live in, how we impact the people around us. But it's also important to understand that anything done outside the boundary of ethics or moral acceptance is not okay, is not acceptable, and in the long run will not yield positive and lasting change. So let's have a go again. Transformative leadership is the act of engaging others in an ethical manner to generate positive and lasting change. We do not want a short-lived change. We do not want a change that our parents and grandparents speak of, that said in the 80s, in the 70s, in the 60s, our country was like this, the inflation rate was this amount, the forex exchange was this to our local currency. That is not sustained because we haven't been able to transcend all the great, fantastic things they enjoyed, free access education, to where we are now in 2025. And as we think about this, we are thinking about the work of the collective, engaging others. So I need you to stay with these three things because it's going to be very important as we move on. But what are the traits and the skills of a transformational leader? We already hinted at it in that definition of who a transformative leader is, or what we consider transformative leadership to be. The first thing is you've got to be visionary. And visionary is such a very subjective situation to be in, because it's something that's got to be reinforced. And I don't know how easy it is for each one of us to see beyond where we are now. If they ask you 50 years from now, let's even put it into practice, just put it in the chat box. 50 years from now, where do you hope to be? What do you think you'll be doing? Add 50 years to your age. I'm curious to see how many of us are visionary in our way of thinking, in our outlook. Can we even think that far out? So just put it in the chat box. 50 years from now, this, it can be personal, it can be professional. Has anybody thought that far out? I'll be a published author with a wide range of readers. I'll be retired. Someone says they'll be dead. Okay, that's not funny. And I wasn't laughing to that. Let's see. Please charge your battery, Juliet. Oh, hopefully you can come back up. Oh, there, she's left. I'm just seeing her message. Influencing people. Oh, no, that's not the one. So we're talking about the 50 years from now. You'll be implementing several projects relative to humanity. You'll be a retired CEO of a youth mental health rehab center, global AMR steward, if the first dancer to use talent for community transformation. Let's keep our 50-year plan coming, because you may never know. You might need it in sessions down the line. But I'm glad to see that there are many of us that are even able to see where we can be 50 years from now. And that is a good trait to have as a transformational leader. So it's good to say you can achieve transformative leadership if you are visionary and team-centric. This is someone that goes beyond the I, and your vocabulary is not me and I, but it's very collective in the language you use, the language of we, for us, by us, that kind of thing, and relies on the strength of others, on their own strength as well as others, and not just theirs. You remember the topic or the definition, engaging others. It's very key. Another aspect that you should think about is engaging and inspiring. If you're not inspiring anything, I'm not sure you can say you're a transformational leader, because at the heart of everything we're doing as a leader, and one that is even seeking to be transformative, you've got to be very inspiring. You've got to be someone who is engaging. It's not to say that you're packaging with a lot of philosophy and putting in a lot of fluff that are untrue just to make for an exciting moment or an inspirational moment, or nuggets that you push out and people say word. No, that's not about being transformative. It's being true, truly engaging and inspiring. Another thing there is inclusive and emotional intelligence. So we talk about inclusion. I don't think there's any room I've been in the last 5 years that the word inclusion hasn't come up, whether we are talking about inclusion in the minority groups, for those that we are working with, or those that we should be working with, or those that we should be catering to. Inclusion in terms of service and product that even entrepreneurs, big companies, pharmaceutical companies are trying to reach, or communities in which even our government are trying to provide a service. So inclusion is a big word. And as we think about the traits and skills of a transformational leader, it's very important that such a person has an inclusive mindset, one that is calling other people together and is thinking about, who am I missing? That is the big question you should be asking. And emotional intelligence is probably another session you might have, but it's important that you're emotionally intelligent because it seeps into your tone and your engagement essentially, which is leading to how collaborative you are. It's speaking to how charismatic you need to be in some moments, and when you really need to be empathetic. So I'm moving in and out of the skill set just because, again, it's not one thing, it's a multiple traits and skills that you need to have, and it can express itself in different ways. An emotionally intelligent person is self-regulating, for example. But moving on, I think we've already touched on collaborative in a way, but another point to say in the aspect of collaboration is ethical. So there are some collaboration, or there's some partnership you might find yourself that will be derailing to you if you are not careful. So as you seek out collaboration or collaborative moments, you're asking, is this well aligned? I give you an example of our organization. Leap Africa, for example, works with a lot of partners. And one thing we always ask is, as we're seeking collaboration, are these ideas well aligned within our vision and mission? If it is, then we move forward. But also we are querying the level of ethics within it. I also don't want to talk about ethics because that's probably another session you're going to have, but you should let this ring because it's going to come up again in subsequent conversations for you. Ethical. As a leader, you must first be ethical. If you're not ethical, then you are not the right kind of leader. there are several types of leaders that are selfish because they've gotten into it by accident, or they've gotten into it by heritage, or they've gotten into it because of sheer will and other ways in which they've got into that position. But the big points and skill and traits rather to have is to be ethical. I've already touched on motivating and empathetic in a little way. But the last one I'll touch on is charismatic and a powerful communicator. You can't be someone who's selling a big vision and it's not a powerful communicator. And because no one can hear your dream if you cannot sell it well and sell it hard. And so it's important that you begin to understand, where do I need to work out this vision? So while you have the vision, it's in your mind, it's in your head, you can put it in paper, but you can't sell it. You can't deliver it to others so that they can join you on that journey. So these are traits and skills for you to have. So as you're listening, I hope that you're writing down to say, maybe I need to work on my charisma, and maybe I need to work on my communication skill. What do I need? What part of my communication skill do I need to work on? It's important that you think about this, because they will help you go further in how you engage with others and how you seek collaboration and all these other things that we already said. Now, because of how we've designed or defined transformative leadership and the trait that is necessary, I wanted us to zoom into this part of it. I see some engagements here. Please charge up your batteries. Please charge it up so you do not miss any good thing. So a big thing for you to see is modeling integrity and fairness. Very, very important. There is no way you would work with others. There is no way you will work in a team that your ability to be fair to others, ability to be just, will not be measured or questioned. And it's very important that a transformational leadership is thinking of ways and opportunities to build fairness, equity, justice into how they do their decision making, or how they even achieve their goals at the end of the day. Providing support and recognition is very key. In all of the ways that we said that you must build skills and you must identify certain traits, at the end of the day, there is something that is happening. You are working with people, which means you are providing some level of support, whether it's in coaching or mentorship. You see it further down the line. But it's important that you begin to understand why you need to have empathy as a leader, because it allows you to be able to provide the right type of support and the right kind of recognition. You cannot be selfish. You can't all the accolades to yourself and say, I am the leader of this group, or in this moment where I am choosing to lead this particular aspect, but you do not show any recognition for those people that worked with you. That is not a good trait. And you must understand this is important for you in your journey. Now, another point to look at is looking beyond your own self-interest to reach a higher goal. The Sustainable Development Goal is an example of this. When we had the Millennium Goals, we had about 7, I believe. But when they had to roll out the Sustainable Development Goals, they rolled out 17 goals. They now rolled out some metrics within those 17 goals, because they said it's not enough for us that we want to end hunger. But for us to end hunger, we need to then do some other things and measure some other things. And this is talking about a higher goal. The Youth Day of Service is a higher goal than what we can do at Leap Africa, than what you can do as a person. And that is why we set up this big platform that is allowing us to work with thousands year in, year out. So you cannot be a transformative leader if you are selfish, self-centered, self-absorbed. So if you have all of these traits, you might want to begin to check it at the door. Because if you are thinking about yourself at all times, then you can't reach a higher goal. Now, steering the emotions and passion of others is a very big way to measure your transformative leadership journey. So it's not enough to sell dreams. Let's do this, let's charge, no. It's to elicit the right type of passion and emotions in people. At the end of the day, leading to a bigger, positive, and larger change. But the big one in the big box there is setting clear goals and having high expectations. So while you have the vision, while you want to be I saw some ideas that you want to be the CEO or be retiring as the CEO of this company or that company. You've got to set clear goals and have high expectations of yourself, meaning you have to hold yourself accountable, you have to be on time, you have to be disciplined, you have to be prepared. These are all high expectations. So goals are one thing, but expectations are another thing, another part of the conversation you need to deal with. So what is the essence? I think I've said it time and time again, and as we go through this session, there will be moments of reinforcement, because it's not to just throw new things at you, but it's to create a chain in your mind that begins to help you understand where you plug in and for why. The ultimate conversation is why. Why am I doing this? Why are you signed up to the YDoS service? Maybe I need to ask you that question. So I'm going to pause. Why are you signed up to the YDoS service? Why are you in this boot camp right now? I want to see the why for you. Is this because you want to look good? Is this because you want to have something to say on your resume? Is it because you want to sound exciting or interesting to your friends? Why exactly are you signed up? I would like to hear from you. I like Elizabeth's point on, I would have impacted my world with knowledge of eradicating disease that can be avoided through the relationships. This is speaking to the 50-year goal. So Elizabeth, you need to begin to work out those expectations of yourself, because this is your own vision and you need to be able to work it out. Frank wants to be retired as a mental health consultant, but still be running a community service center. So again, I see that there is a positive change for a larger community, but as a transformative leader, you need to be able to see, how is this serving others? How will you work with others to achieve this? And of course, setting, smart goals there. So to my last question for the why, Mercy is saying, I feel a lot of young people, especially from my state of residents, understand their roles in promoting peace and actually realize how much potential they have. So Mercy, the reason you've signed up to the YDoS service is because of peace and security and potential. I'm just asking you. And Elizabeth is saying for professional partnerships and to learn from others for successful implementation back home. It would be nice to know, as we speak to some of these things, put in your location and community. I'm new to your group, so I may not know some of the states, communities, or cities you speak of. Mohammed joined to learn more about making lasting impact in society, and Simon says, for social impact in my community and the world at large. So I see that it's a selfless ambition for you to sign up and be here at this point in time. But back to this, keep them coming, because, and I also encourage others in the room to find the ones that resonate with them. I do this. So if I read comments as a participant of a program, I go and put in, a thumbs up, a like, a comment, so we can then build friendship and build bridges from there. But moving on to the essence of transformation leadership. So leadership is not only about maintaining processes and procedures, but about causing positive and lasting change. I've said this enough. So there is a desirable future. From the comments I see, some people are saying that I want to see my community where we have less diseases. I want to see my community where mental health is not an issue. So that's the desirable future. This is the big why. And then you need to be said. So therefore, there is an issue of mental health crisis. There is an issue where young people are disengaged. So for the future we create, there is a problem we are solving for. And then the next thing is developing people and the society that needs to benefit from it. So for you to have a world, a community, a state, whatever it is, that is free or have reduced mental health crisis, then we need to help others like you. So what I'm hearing from some of you is you would take this training and use it to impact others. Impactation in learning helps to even allow this kind of programs and this session reach farther than we would naturally reach. And that, I think, is a great thing. Another point there, or the essence of transformative leadership, is inspiring hope. Hope is all we have at the end of the day. We can only hope. So tomorrow is not assured. You've heard of that, I'm sure. But one thing that is assured is our hope that we will see tomorrow. And if you want to have a positive change, if you want to have a lasting change, I don't know if you were following the news about the African Development Bank transition of leadership. The hope of that bank is that they continue to mobilize funding, have a leadership that will continue to sustain the work that Dr. Akinwumi has been doing for years. For example, I use that example outside of now, so you can see how we can situate and see hope everywhere we go. Hope is that in your community, the project you're going to establish for the Youth Day of Service is not just going to serve and develop the people that will benefit, but will also inspire them for tomorrow. And the last essence, of course, is facilitating change. At the end of the day, change is what will guarantee a desired future. So I need you to see that loop and see how you're connecting the dots in your mind. So this is where you need to be writing in your notepad and saying, where is the area of facilitating change in all of this for me, for the project I'm thinking about or the project I'm about to submit? Because again, I do not know if you have thought of your project yet. I do not know what is exciting for you right now. Which of the sustainable development goals makes you happy, makes you excited to be a part of it, or frustrates you enough? So I need you to be working out. I wish I could see your notes, where you are drawing out some of the action points for you. So what's the problem? Who are the people that you're developing along the way? How are you inspiring hope? And what is the facilitation going to look like for you to now establish change and, of course, a desirable future? And then the loop starts again. In essence, we do not want this to be a short-term thing for you. We want your time in the Youth Day of Service, which is not just a day, it's not a week, it's not a month, it's a lifestyle. So it's a lifestyle, and transformative leadership is a lifestyle. I want that to sit with you, but I'll check the box to see what people are saying. Bora is saying, I want to work to ensure every young refugee, marginalized youth is engaged, self-reliant, and become a change maker for his her community to ensure job access is no longer a burden. This is really great. I still don't see people double clicking, liking. I'm not sure if it's because we could not enable that. Manasseh says their community is bleeding and they've not been heard. They are not being heard too, and I want to help them overcome these challenges. Okay, so I see that we are desiring a future that is filled with people who are not as hurt and who are as free, as united, as secure as some of us in the room. And so create that loop in your mind. I'm pausing in this moment so that you can, flesh it out. So please flesh out some of those things that you want to do. Yes, thank you. So quickly, how do you engage others? We already talked about being a visionary, being a team player, being team focused, being empathetic, but I wanted to mention a couple of things that you probably might have not paid attention to, and that is challenging others to act. Hands are up. I'm not sure why. Do we want to take them now, Shay? Should we take people's...
I would advise they note down the questions and we'll take all of them together at the end of the session.
Okay. All right, super. So we can run through the slides and then we can, come back to chat. So please write your questions down. Challenging others to act. I touched on mentoring and coaching very slightly. Some of what you will require to do as you sell your vision, as you galvanize others, as you community organize, is really to challenge other people to do it. And asking other people to do it is not the easiest thing, I can guarantee you. And so you've got to know that it's one of the things that is expected of you. How do you challenge people to see beyond themselves? How do you challenge people to to do more. Another point there is understanding the behavioral differences and cultural differences of other people as you're reaching out. So you are raised in a certain way, you know certain things, you understand certain things, your aspirations look a certain way. But if you have to engage other people, then you've got to be highly tolerant, which is where emotional intelligence come into play, which is where motivating others come into play. Understanding that we are really heterogeneous. Even in your family, you are not the same. Even if you're of the same blood, of the same parents, how much more with people with a very diverse and cultural behavioral differences. The duty of service is a melting point that brings together different people from all walks of life, all walks of stages in their environment, in their situation. And you have to be able to understand that if you want to engage others to create lasting change. Another thing is to see the world through the eyes of others. So we have conscious, unconscious bias, we have unconscious biases, and there are 4 types of biases. I don't want you to get lost in that, but if you do not understand that there is a way you see the world and there's a way other people see the world, then you will not be able to successfully engage others. I've already talked on building rapport and pulling people out of their status quo. Note your questions as we go. Very important that I lock in on this one. So as we think about exchange, understanding other people's perspectives, this image where someone sees a 9 and the other people sees a 6 is all about perception. This is just driving home the point that the world is not totally black and white, and it can be gray. And do you even know that by the time you mix black and white together, percentage of black and white, you get different colors? So there is something I found recently where colors are expanded beyond a certain spectrum. So black and white gives you a gray. But by the time you mix black and white together, you will find that you have light gray, dark gray, black, silver, whatever. From black and white, you really can generate 20 other colors. I've begun to find studying colors, that is something that can happen. And so it's all about perception. So because it's black and white doesn't mean it's not gray or silver or another kind of color that you will find within the spectrum. And so you must be able to build your tolerance to be able to see and understand other people's perspective. Because why? Seth Godin says people act based on the world they see every single time. Understanding someone else's story is hard, a job that's never complete, but it's worth the effort. Let's do this very quickly. I want to work with some scenarios. Remember that point regarding the transformative leadership definition that says the act of engaging others in an ethical manner. So I did not come to the class with scenarios for you because I thought that you already have some ethical, unethical scenarios, but maybe you don't even know what ethical or unethical scenarios can be. I'm trying to see what time I've got left there. Let me help you out just very quickly. I spoke of moral acceptance and I spoke about ethics. Now, moral acceptance is really saying that what is acceptable morally? Should we save the lives of people who are dying? But what is the ethics involved in saving the lives of people? So ethics essentially is the more technical side of moral acceptance, for lack of a good way of explaining it. And moral acceptance is also saying what is morally good and just and kind and fair to do. And the ethics is, are there ethical boundaries or violations in getting it done or making it possible? I can't find a very good example now, but I can't find a very good example right now. For some reason, it has failed me. I had about 10 examples when I was thinking about this, but it is very clear that as we will go about implementing or designing our project, we will encounter scenarios that are ethical and unethical. Places where we might be asked to do a shortcut that is detrimental to the name of the organization, the idea of the project or program, the community we are going to work for. For example, if you want to give back to the community, is it okay? Is it morally acceptable or ethical for you to now say to the community, give us money? When, for example, somebody else has supported you financially or non-financially, you want to give back to a community. Let's say you want to give a borehole to the community that does not have water, or you want to do a mental health day for the community. Bad examples, not those examples that you would think of. Would it be okay for you to now charge people for that? So these are the examples that have come to mind right now. So differentiate, someone's laughing at that, but it would have been great to see what are the scenarios, what are the ethical situations you found yourself, dilemmas that you found yourself. Dara is talking about some link. It is not morally ethical to charge for that. Okay, you see there. So I'm sure we'll come back during the Q&A, but let me run through the slide so that at least I get you your time's worth. But it's important that you begin to put into boxes every time you have a decision to make. Is this ethical or is this unethical? What am I violating in order to get this done? I'm going to leave you with that while I move on quickly. I've been signaled that I have a certain amount of time. This is the last point in the definition, creating positive and lasting change. And this is talking about the destination. The butterfly is the destination. The butterfly is the journey, is the picture we want to see. And it must be deep-rooted in your life first. If you do not model it, you do not have anything. I just wanted to reinforce that. And so as we think about sustained change, as we think about deep-rooted work beyond ourselves, that's almost going to be like our legacy, then you've got to think about some things that will help you. So how is this going to happen? From the inside out. You will not be paid. I don't know if Shea has told you anything else. But you come into the right duty of service is not to be paid for it. It is not to be recognized at the end of it. It must be from within. You can't teach someone to desire positive and lasting change. It's got to start first with you, and it must be something that you want yourself and you think would benefit others. But another thing is that it must come with the permission of others that you want to serve. So you want to do mental health awareness day. You want to set up a clinic for this community as part of your day of service. You want to reduce unemployment by doing certain things. You need permission. You need the participation of these people. And so you can't do it in isolation, and you can't do it in your head, you can't do it in your mind. But the big point there is you are the example they are looking at. If you want to talk about reducing unemployment, how have you demonstrated that you are employed? How have you demonstrated that you yourself have something going for you? Because you are the example they can see, and you're the example that you can sell. And if you do not have that, you then have nothing to market, you have nothing to engage with. And so think about the guidance and the mentoring that you must leave with them so they can live by it, going back to the moral and the ethics of these things. And lastly, you must be able to live, you must be able to allow them lead, or you must be able to mentor or tutor them to the point that on their own, they can also take this sort of decisions. Because you have modeled the right type of change or transformative leadership, they can also live through you and then design their own outlook and pathways without your own input. So for change to be sustained, I'm taking that back, I'm running it back. For change to be sustained, you cannot in perpetuity be involved. The duty of service must be able to, the idea or the project you will commission, you will deploy, must be able to stand alone years from now. I'm trying to see if I'm being called out for time or anything like that. Okay, I see some examples here. I'll come back in a bit. So we can't always go back to this community. So where and how are the communities owning up to it? If you just deploy the project, then what you have done is an activity. But the transformative leadership, which the YDoS is calling you to do, is to be able to leave footprints and leave the project and leave the service and the work and the impact done to the point that each people benefiting from it can have their own input. I'm moving on to the RISE principle. So what does it look like in practice? This is locking it together. It starts first with role modeling. I've spoken a lot about you being the prime example, the person they see, you giving guidance and mentorship as required, you living the truth and all these other traits and skills that is necessary, and then spilling into motivating and inspiring, showing empathy and encouraging high levels of success. And that's the RISE model. Encouraging high level of success is really saying, where is the buy-in? When you have the buy-in of these people that you have sought their participation, then the high level of success is guaranteed. Because I want to engage in your question and answer, I wanted to wind down with some spotlight. I've brought 3 projects with me today. The Youth Day of Service is in its 5th year right now. And we've done this not only in Nigeria, but we've done it in several countries. And I'm happy to see that we have a melting pot of several people from all parts of Africa. So in 2022, this is not to say these were the best projects or anything, but I came with 3 different projects just to give you an idea. And it would be nice to see how you are able to deduce the transformative process working out here. I'm winding down. And so there's Anna, who worked with 5 volunteers in Odono. Odono is a place in Oyo State, in Ibadan, which is in Oyo State in Nigeria. And they didn't have a waste disposal system in that particular community. And she thought about what is the best way they could dispose of it. So the first thing they did was to construct a waste tank. It's innovative in itself because it's a tank on wheels and encourages the community to take care of their environment. Imagine what has happened here, the RISE principle, inspiring, motivating, empathy, and higher level of success. And the other things I've already said about building rapport and all these things. So the big innovation is the waste tank. But do you know that when Anna was leaving, she did not leave with the tank. She left it in the community to the point that the community can sustain it. And so with the support of the team and community members, there was sensitization of proper waste management and working with a host of stakeholders and the evacuation of the waste. So it's not enough that they put it in there, but you need to identify that you need other people. Don't forget the act of engaging others. So engaging others, not just your own team, as like Anna has done, the 5 people she needed to work with, but all the people that needed to be in the business of evacuating the waste, maintaining the space, and so on and so forth. And in that one time she did the project, it impacted 100 indigenes in that small community. It's a very small cluster. Number 2 is the project in Zambia. And this person has worked with a larger community of volunteers, 42. Case study 1 had 5 volunteers. Case number 2 has 42 volunteers. And what are they trying to do? What she has tried to do, I don't know if you can see it properly, is to reduce dependence of charcoal and firewood, is to ensure that there's an alternative way where young women, they don't necessarily have to be young, women are catering to cooking. Women are finding ways to provide for their family. And so it's saying that in this particular one project, she's ticking off several boxes, opportunities for girls and women, opportunities to improve their own health, opportunities to introduce innovative cooking and energy saving methodology for them. But more again, is about the lasting impact she's creating. Charcoal briquettes are very innovative on its own, and see the number of people that she's impacting. Villages, whilst the first project was focusing on one community, Soko and Juda villages are very large. And maybe if anyone who probably is from Zambia can also tell us what this looks like. But she trained for 30 women, and you can imagine 2025, where this project is today. I'm sure Shay and Co will be able to tell you. The last project I bring to you is from last year, and it's a borehole project in Lagos this time around. And the project served 300 community beneficiaries. Now, how has Tomiwa helped the community? You can see it all there. Water, I think time and time again, from time I've been watching TV about the impact sector, you will always see that potable pipeline water is a big deal in every community. And Tomiwa has done just that, giving it back. And so it worked with a number of volunteers, 3 of them, and they were able to give back in this small community in Ojo area in Lagos, and fitted them with this water. Now, this water is going to live beyond Tomiwa. This water is still a place where people are drinking from it till today, till tomorrow. And as we think about our work, remember the input of others. Remember the opportunity for it to have a lasting change in that community. Time saved, going very far, or the expenses for having to pay for water. This is free to the community, by the way. Remember that ethics thing I said about blending ethics and what is morally accepted. Imagine if we were charging 5 naira to fetch water from this borehole. That has gone against the ethics of things. And so as we think about giving back and putting back this project in our communities, we must be thinking of a big picture, one that serves others and can live beyond one time. So what are you going to do differently? I need you to put out your notes. What is your action plan? I'm going to give you 1 minute to try and respond to this while I check the box. Somebody's excited about Zambia. Someone can't hear. Wow. Okay. Okay. So Tita or Tite, my audio is good. Can anybody do the sound check for me? Can you hear me? Anyone? Okay. So Tita, I don't know what the issue is. Please check your audio, but please put this down in your leadership action plan, transformative leadership action plan. You may not be able to give it to me right now because of the time, but what is the action 1, 2, 3 that you're going to take to lead yourself and your cohort? What is your action plan for creating a culture of success? And who are you going to work with to make sure they hold you accountable and ensuring that you stay on track? So, Shay, do we have any wiggle room? I want to be able to take questions now. This is a place to stop and stop speaking and make it engaging. So how many minutes for the Q&A? 10 minutes? Okay, so 10 minutes for the Q&A. Let me see the hands up. So let's start talking now. I think there were some questions here first, so I'm going to start with the questions. Okay, these are not questions. I'm not sure. Those people that had their hands up. Okay, Alfred, let's go. Your hand came up first. Can you unmute quickly? Alfred, can you speak? Okay, no?
Hello.
Go on.
Yes. Can you hear me? Can you all hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay. I am a peace ambassador to my community and also a humanitarian servant who have chosen to serve, who is called to serve. My question is, what are the the tools and the materials that is outlined for this incoming program, youth community program and projects for LEAP. I want to know, like for me, I have so many community projects that I want to carry out, and I'm happy to come on board to listen with you the key interests. So I want to know what are the materials and
Got
the
you.
support that
Sure.
LEAP to share, and how can it get to us? Because I have about 5 team
No
members.
problem. I
Assist.
got you, Alfred. I want to take all the questions together, okay? And I know
Okay.
that Victoria, Shay, you can respond to him quickly on that so we don't lose track. Ismail, please come up. Can Ismail speak?
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Yeah. Thank you. Like I have two questions. Actually, my name is Yusuf from I'm speaking from Meduguri. So the question is the first one is how can a leader, like leaders, prioritize their own well-being and self-care while driving transformative changes? And that's the first one. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Yeah. And secondly is what are the implications of transformative leadership for organization culture and structure?
Come again?
Okay. What are the implications of transformative leadership for organizational culture and structure?
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Jacqueline?
Thank you so much, Kehinde Ayemi. My name is Jacqueline Modime. I'm from Kenya. And my question revolves, by the way, I'm happy for what you've really taught us, quite impactful, very profound. But I'm really in keen interest of the ethical and unethical that you have been really highlighting and strongly, urging. We all know that right now the donor funding is really shrinking. And what if you have a project and you use the STEM project to charge the community as a way of resource mobilization? Can you really say that's unethical? Because we all know that we cannot just give out a whole project that you have gathered resources and yet again give it for free and then run bankrupt, with this lean donor funding. So I would really, really appreciate if you kind of shed more light so that even for us who are project leads can really learn from that or how we can maneuver around it.
Thank you very much for that. Abdullahi, one more person, and then I'll respond. Thank you. Abdullahi, are you there?
Yes, ma. Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Your mic is muted. Come again. Abdullahi, your mic is muted if you're speaking. Okay. So, Abdullahi, you're not able to do that. All right, I'm going to start responding to the questions right now. I've got 5 minutes and I see more hands have come up. So the question that Alfred asked, Shay and Co will be able to respond. We do have tools and materials that will be provided for all those who sign up to be project leads and volunteers. I also know that whilst we are mobilizing a lot of young people to use their agency, their own tools, treasures, talents, in any way they think will benefit the community along the 17 goals, we can only support a few. We can't support all. And so there is going to be a mechanism for which we will determine those that will receive some financial support. It's not the full cost of whatever your project will cost, and there is that. So I know that in the course of the program, in the course of, you know, whatever it is, you would get that information on the go. But we do have resources. The tools you're asking for is also in form of this training. So this training, Alfred, is to help you begin to now figure out in your project, okay, what do I have? I really cannot depend on every external resource out there. So this is me moving away from that question and looking into the question you asked, Jacqueline, about resources. So the donor funding is affecting every one of us. And I didn't even think that we should have waited for the development organizations to pull out before this gave us a wake-up call. We should have been working out sustainability for our project from the get-go. And I see Zoe telling you, can you charge for maintenance? On the issue of what is the best way to do this? If you're giving something to a community, first of all, that community could not afford it. Second of all, if they could afford it, then they won't have waited on you to get into that place to deliver that intervention. I also understand the place of ownership where if it costs them nothing, then they absolutely have no way of understanding what it will cost to maintain it or what it will cost to replicate that kind of success for other communities to benefit. So the case of ethics and unethical situation there is if somebody has paid you full money, Jacqueline, to put that project in place, and then you now charge them the cost of implementing it fully. That's where the issue is. Remember the case I made for 5 naira. I don't know what that converts to in your local currency, but imagine that the borehole costs maybe 50,000 US dollars to do, and we are charging people 30 cents to access it. 30 cents is very little, and is not something that will compromise the ownership or the earnings of the community, depending on where the community is. But just putting it there helps to maintain it. If the maintenance is just to be able to service the borehole, or maybe for them to be able to clean the environment, keep it clean, wash it, replace the taps, if that's what you're charging for. But it's not to charge it to yourself, Jacqueline, and say we are profiting off this. And again, you can also work out a business development strategy such that in 1 year you are saying we will give you the place for free, but in the interim we would maintain it also for free because somebody else is paying for that, and your local government or your community head or lead or a business is now going to be responsible for it for another 2 years, and then you can hand it over to the next. So you've got to think creatively in that way and begin to ask the question. Don't forget, I said you should ask a question. Who is this going to benefit? How is it serving others? How have I compromised in one way or another? I know I have 1 minute. I'm about to wrap up there. The question of prioritizing self-care while helping others. That's a very brilliant question. You know, you've got to take care of yourself in order for you to be able to take care of others. So prioritizing it is saying organizing yourself better, is to be able to know your strengths and your weaknesses. Where are you struggling, and what do you need to build up on where you are struggling in your own mental health case or in your own self-care situation. You've got to be able to work out time. There's so much I can say there, but I know I'm looking at the time. But it starts first with you. What is your personal itinerary looking like in all of this? When do you sense a burnout? How do you sense you are depressed? Who do you talk to? Who are those people holding you accountable? Who is your mentor? Do you even have a mentor? You know, you've got to take care of that, and that will help you very well. The implication of this on culture and organizational culture and structures, it's the same. The principles are the same, and so when you think about transformative leadership, how are your managers, or how are you as a manager or the owner of your business or organization translating this into an environment that is conducive for work and productivity. You've got to be able to motivate the people you're leading, even when you're delivering your service and product. For us in practice, there are so many ways I can tell you this is working for us on the back end, how we have adapted transformative leadership in essence. Our people and culture unit is responsible for how we engage talent, how we manage culture cohesion and adaptation, and how we feed back some of the initiatives to ensure that we have a very strong organization. So I would push it back to you to work out what are the people and culture initiatives that your organizations are running, and begin to tease out in what way is this empathetic, in what way is this selling the vision of the organization or business. I can go on, and I know my time is up, but I wanted to be sure that I've answered all your questions. But it's a lot deeper than that, and you can engage with me beyond now. Feel free to ask me your questions. I'll definitely come back, but I've got to stop speaking now, because one thing we like to do is to respect time and the organizers of any program, even though it's internal. So I have to pause now and turn it back to Sheyi and team and Joy, who have asked me to come on today. So over to you, Sheyi, Joy, Victoria, Amabel, and thank you so much. I hope that the class can engage with me beyond now.
Super. Thank you, Kenny. Thank you so much for making out the time to join us today for this session. We appreciate you for how practical the session is. Please, let's put our thank you in the chat box for Kenny, and you can definitely engage with Kenny long after now. Kenny is on LinkedIn. You can connect with her on LinkedIn, and you can also send an email to the team if there are additional questions that you have that will definitely get across. But you can just look for Kehinde Ayeni on LinkedIn, and you will be able to probably ask further questions that you might not be able to ask due to time constraint here. So once again, we want to say a very big thank you to you, Kenny, for that amazing session. Yes, and that is it for today's session. The link to the attendance form has been shared in the chat. So please, it is important that you complete the attendance form. Don't forget that I'd mentioned to you earlier that both project leads and volunteer, it is important that you have at least 80% of attendance, for the session. And for those who might want to go a bit technological, I think they call it technologia. You might also want to scan the barcode that I just shared for you to be able to get to the attendance. So, and I think we'll come to the end of today's session. So as Kenny was rounding up our session, I got a notification and I just had to quickly check. And it was a notification by one of the participants of this program, I think Victoria Liu. She made a post on LinkedIn talking about her participation on this program and some of the takeaway from today's session, and also sharing the link to our project, which would give that visibility to our project for other people to be able to register as volunteers on our project. And I think this is something that is worth copying by every other members or every other participant on this project. Use your social media, your WhatsApp, try to spread the message across so that other people who are within your community can also contribute to advancing the boundaries of the Sustainable Development Goals on the continent of Africa. So, without further ado, I would like to say thank you so very much for joining us on today's session. The session continues tomorrow, same time. You will be notified again on your WhatsApp groups. You will send you reminders on the WhatsApp group. Please ensure that you join the sessions. Okay. Thank you, Kenny. Yes, got that. All right, so it's 12:29. We're trying to ensure that we have the session finished at exactly 12:30, and we're going to stretch beyond that, maybe a minute or two. So I can see that. Thank you, Kenny. Kenny has also responded to some of the questions in the question box. Thank you very much, Kenny. All right, we've come to the end of today's session, and I will be looking forward to. Somebody is saying the link is not working. The link is working. Please ask, is there anyone who has been able to use the link? Scan code not working, but if you have been able to use the link, can you please comment in the chat box that you've been able to? Yeah, okay, there are people who have been able to use the link. So please check your network and probably try to use a different browser. I think Google Chrome is going to be a better option for you. Thank you very much. I don't want to keep you waiting for long. See you tomorrow. Please, I would like that as we go back and as we drop off this call, we start dropping on a different WhatsApp group our key learnings and our key takeaway from today so that we can start fostering conversations from there. Thank you very much for joining the session today. I wish you the very best of the rest of the day, and bye for now.